from a baseball family the way our next guest does. Of course, you know, Mike Jirschele has spent a lifetime in the game, and his son Justin is on that same track, managing at Double-A with the White Sox in Birmingham, Alabama. Good to have Justin on the program this morning. Justin, good morning. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, before we get into your roster and your career and your family, I want to ask you if the stuff that Michael Jordan bought in Birmingham is still there, right? Didn't he buy a bus and a bunch of great gear for the weight room? Is that still around, or am I dating myself 30 years ago?
Yeah, I think the bus might have maybe I shouldn't say broke down since he bought it, but yeah, we definitely had newer buses from the one that he bought. But
30 years
tons of cool
ago.
memorabilia there left over from him. It's neat.
Yeah, he's asking about a museum by now.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff is in the museum. Hey, Justin, so great to see you, man. Matt talked about your dad being in baseball a long time. I played for his dad, and I knew Justin when he was a kid.
Really? Where'd you play for Mike?
In Omaha.
Really?
In Omaha, Nebraska. You spent a lot of summers in Omaha. How many years did your dad manage there?
So in the 90s, I think he was there for about 5 or 6 years. Then he became a coordinator for a few years, and then came back for about 6 or 7 before he got to the big leagues. He was going to start running for mayor. He was thinking about. He was there for so long.
So what about yourself? How did you start thinking about managing, and how did you get into this same family business?
Yeah, I was fortunate. The White Sox signed me out of college. I thought long-term wise that it would definitely be something that I wanted to get into and give it a shot like my dad did. I'm hoping I can be in it as long as he has been, but we'll see.
Well, one of the things the White Sox have done real well is bring up young talent through that organization. And so tell us a little bit about your Double-A roster, and maybe some of the guys even came through there in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been exciting. You know, I've had the privilege of managing guys like Luis Robert and Gavin Sheets and Jake Berger, and you know, the list goes on and on of those guys that have come through our system. I think, like you said, Harold, it's really exciting to see a lot of these guys. You know, and we had that Project Birmingham at the end of the season this year with the collaboration of bringing all of our prospects together for the last 4 weeks. Some 19-year-old kids from low A ball. You know, you got the list there, and like I said, it's just extremely exciting with where we're at, and some of these guys, seeing them climb the ranks through our minor league system, and eventually helping us and being impact players in Chicago.
Hey, kind of dovetailing on what Harold asked you about there, Justin, you had Dylan Cease at one point. We went to break teasing this, and you had him in a year in which he went 0-8. Struck out a bunch of people, but high ERA, didn't win a decision. Tell us about what you saw back then and what conversations you may have had, given how frustrating a season that must have been for him.
Yeah, you know, and anytime a guy gets traded in the minor leagues, especially, you know, they come over and they're starting from scratch, right, with relationships. And so he had a lot going on that year when he came over to us. He's a younger kid, just a whirlwind of a year for him. But you saw the talent, right? You saw the arm strength there. You knew what he was capable of doing. You knew what he was going to grow into. You know, you just kind of have to go through a time like that and bring him in and pump the brakes and say, everything's going to be all right here, kid. You know, you came here for a reason because we wanted you. You're going to be extremely special in the future. Just believe in that, trust in that, and keep working, and this will turn around for you. But yeah, you know, like I said, you definitely saw that talent there, and it was a special arm. It stood out to you when you'd see him on the mound, and we knew what we had with him when he came over, and I think he knew it too, that he's a confident kid, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders.
Tell you, the interesting player to me is Luis Robert. I remember Jim told me, you know, he was traveling with you guys as an instructor or whatever he called himself doing, basically a Hall of Fame White Sox, going through studying everybody. And he came back here raving about how far this kid was hitting home runs. And so I'm wondering your first impressions of Luis Robert when you saw him and maybe the furthest ball you've watched him hit.
Yeah, I remember him hitting a ball one year in I think it was 19 in Wilmington, Delaware. He hit a ball and you thought, okay, that's just a foul ball. It'll slice down the right field line, and this ball just kept going. It was a homer. And I remember their manager coming by that next inning, and he looked in and he goes, "Enjoy that, because he's not going to be here long." He would in the minor leagues, in the lower level of the minor leagues where I had him. Excuse me, he was literally like a creative player. Everything that he was able to do on a nightly basis, you didn't know what he was bringing to the table that night, but you knew he was going to impact the game in a positive way for your team in one facet or the other, or all of them. Most of the time it was all of them, right? But yeah, just a special talent. He can do it all. He's just electric with everything that he does, and it was awesome to put his name in the lineup every night.
If Louis Robert is the guy that Harold kind of obsesses on, young White Sox on the verge of superstardom, for me it's Gavin Sheets, and you mentioned his name earlier. When I see a guy, at the ballpark, when you call a series and you put your eyes on him and he has one of those series, you think, man, this is the next great thing about to happen. I feel like Gavin Sheets is on the verge of a 30-plus homer campaign. Is he going to get a chance to play every day, do you think, versus right and left, or is he going to be a platoon guy here in perpetuity?
Well, that'd be a better question for somebody above me, I think. But, he's another guy that you just absolutely love, the kid, who he is as a person, and obviously what he's able to do between the lines and in the left-handed batter's box. It's a special big power bat, and you hope nothing but the best for him. I think he is going to have a big impact on our club this year in Chicago.
Hey, Justin, we appreciate the visit, man. We wish you the best moving forward in your managerial career. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Please tell your mom and dad I said hello, okay?
Will do, Harold.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Justin Jirschele joining us on the stove. We're going to take another break. When we come back, spring daydreaming with the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, it's easy to dream when you have potential Hall of Famers in your lineup every day. And we'll talk about what the Redbirds can expect this spring. Easy for me to say. Next.
Well, that's
Well, that'd be a better question for somebody above me, I think. But, he's another guy that you just absolutely love, the kid, who he is as a person, and obviously what he's able to do between the lines and in the left-handed batter's box. It's a special big power bat, and you hope nothing but the best for him. I think he is going to have a big impact on our club this year in Chicago.
Hey, Justin, we appreciate the visit, man. We wish you the best moving forward in your managerial career. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Please tell your mom and dad I said hello, okay?
Will do, Harold.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Justin Jirschele joining us on the stove. We're going to take another break. When we come back, spring daydreaming with the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, it's easy to dream when you have potential Hall of Famers in your lineup every day. And we'll talk about what the Redbirds can expect this spring. Easy for me to say. Next.
Well, that's